Live from Radio Row in New Orleans, Super Bowl 47, San Francisco 49ers going up against the Baltimore Ravens. This is WHIP Radio in Philadelphia, and we were sitting here, we're talking for 20 minutes. We may as well put the guy on the air. He's Amron. He creates everything in the world, it seems like, and one of those things is First Down Lazer. First off, Alan, Zach Gelb here. How are you?
Good, Zach. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Now, tell me a little bit more about this First Down Lazer, because I think my audience would be very intrigued, people that can't make it down to the Super Bowl, or even people that do make it down to the Super Bowl, how it changes the game.
Okay, well, first of all, everybody knows what the yellow line is on TV now, and everybody loves it. What I did was I went to a game after I saw the yellow line on the field, and everybody around me was saying, "Where's the yellow line? Where's the yellow line? How are we supposed to know where these guys are going? Here I am, paid $200 for a ticket, and I don't know where the guy's going." And so when I got home, I realized that it was a graphic on TV, and I started working on the laser system where I project the line on the field in the stadium for everyone to see. Use the players, the coaches, the officials, and the fans.
When you not look at let's take away the players for a second. Let's look at executives in the league. What has been their response about this product?
Well, originally the NFL, I met with the NFL. I have a partner named Pat Summerall, which everyone knows.
Of course.
And Pat introduced me to the NFL a number of years ago. We showed him the system, and they explained to us, they said, this is a great idea, great system, and it is the future, but instant replay took 7 years before they implemented it. They still, every year, say, should we keep instant replay or should we get rid of it? They said that the overhead cam took them 7 years to implement that. So with the NFL, you have to have patience. And this year, fan experience is number one in the NFL. And our line on the field is number one for fan experience.
You have thousands of players around here on Radio Row in New Orleans. Zach Gelb here with you talking to Alan Amron. And let's look at this. What are the players' reaction that you talked to here at Radio Row this week been?
Well, I've actually interviewed a couple of offensive players, defensive players, and some coaches. And offense said, you know what, if I could see the line on the field, I love it. This will give me an idea of what I got to defend against. The guys on the offense are saying, I could see the line on the field. That'll give me something to go for. And then the coaches that I interviewed said the same thing. They said, you know what, it gives us a line on the field where we can actually plan around.
Give me the technological breakdown of this. How is this product composed?
Okay, we have a YAG laser, and YAG is a color laser that's green, light green, and it's the most recognizable color to the human eye. So we have a YAG green laser line projector on the laser flag, on the dial-down flags, and in the back in the tunnel we have the actual laser. So we communicate with the laser through a fiber optic cable that's very, very small, very, very thin. It goes from the YAG laser in the tunnel to the flag set, and then the chain gang moves it up and down the field, and the referees turn them on and off.
Have you been able to go out to a stadium and test this so far? I know it wouldn't be. Have you even tested it during the game, like a high school, college level, something like that?
Well, no, we have tested it in front of the UFL. We've tested it in front of the Canadian Football League.
In a game or just like a practice?
Just in practice.
Okay.
They don't allow new technology in a game until after they approve it first. Yeah. So we haven't had that opportunity, and we've been asking the NFL for a long time just to give us a preseason game or a mini camp, and we'll demonstrate it for them there. And I think this year we're going to be able to do that.
So when you went to the UFL and you were able to do this, what was the reaction from those players that were able to see it live in person in that practice?
They absolutely loved it. The coaches especially, like Jim Fossil, who used to be at the NFL.
Of course, we just talked to him the other day.
And Green,
Dennis
Green, he was there. We have a video on our website of them watching the line, being totally awesome, amazed by it, and happy that it's going to come. And Jim Fossil kept saying on camera, you guys are onto something here. You guys are onto something here. This is definitely what the NFL needs.
So you're about to get into a preseason for the NFL. How far away, how many years do you think this will take until you get it live in a game for, let's say, 16 out of the 16 games during the regular season?
Well, I happen to think that if the NFL lets us meet with the competition committee meeting in March, that we could have a system ready for them to demonstrate when the season starts. And that way they could play it in a couple of preseason games, get a feel for it, see if they like it. I mean, these are flag sets, not like we have to do any installations. So the flag set's in the stadium. They could use it for a couple of plays, take it out if they want, just to play with it. Once they're satisfied that they like it, we could be in the Super Bowl next year.
And it also, you look at it from a refereeing standpoint, the refs must love these kind of things because you don't always have to bring out the change and chains and look at all that. So the refs must love it.
Well, the networks love it too because the league loves it, the NFL loves it, the networks love it because they save 3 minutes at least per game of not having to bring out the chains. Now, the NFL doesn't want us to eliminate the chains. The NFL wants us to augment the chains. They want to have the choice whether to bring them out or not bring them out. And so we built it on the flag set, and then they could either use it or not use it. It's there, though.
A few more questions as we're talking to Alan Amron, who has a great invention, the First Down Lazer. You also invented a plethora of other things like the Post-it, which everyone says they invented the Post-it, but you really invented the Post-it from what you were telling me.
Right. I invented something in 1973 when I was like 22, 23 years old called Press-On Memo. And then I took it to 3M and demonstrated it for it. 3M said, this is great, we love it, give us some samples. I gave them samples. A couple of weeks later, they sent me a letter saying nobody's going to pay $9.99 for a pad with glue on the back of it, and we can't print glue in our printing presses because it'll gum up the printing presses. So being a young, naive guy, and that was my first invention, I just went about my business and figured they know what they're talking about. But I did manufacture them in my basement by myself, spraying pieces of paper and making pads out of it, and I was selling them. So I was selling to the stationery industry for about a year, and then after I got that letter, I just gave up on trying to sell it to a major stationery company. And then a couple of years after that, I saw it on TV.
And you also almost got the Beatles back together, and you were telling me about that before you came on the air. Tell my audience about what your idea was with that.
Okay, when I was young also, and around 19, oh God, I don't even want to say it. Okay, a long time ago.
75 years ago
yeah,
or something.
A really long time ago. The Beatles split up. And if you want the data of what that is, figure it out. Okay, the Beatles split up, and my wife said to me at the time, she said, you know what, if the Beatles got back together again, I'd wait online for days to go see them. And my wife doesn't wait online for anyone. So I decided, okay, well, if she'd wait online, I'm going to try to get these guys together. So I started a campaign through the Village Voice. In those days, that was like the magazine. And what I did was I paid for an ad saying that if everybody in the world sends me $1, I'll offer it to Beatles and get them back. They liked the concept so much.
How much money did you raise from that? If you had to put an estimation of it.
I really couldn't because I didn't get the money. It went to a fiduciary account at the Chase Manhattan Bank. But it was sort of stopped right away because John Lennon died and it stopped. But the Village Voice liked it so much, they kept running the ad without me having to pay for it because they put it in an editorial. And then people started sending me money from all over the world. I mean, I was getting money that wasn't American money, and as a kid, if I get Latvian money or I get German money, what am I going to do with it? But that's when we opened up the account at the Chase Manhattan Bank.
Give me your favorite Beatles song, though.
Let Me Be. It's just Let It Be. Let It Be was my slogan when I did the Beatles Getting Back. I said, let it be. Come back together again. So that's my favorite song.
Did you see the Beatles movie with James Taylor and all that stuff? Have you seen that?
Yes, I've seen them all. Yes.
Well, it's a great idea. I hope it gets worked out. I absolutely love it because every time I go to a football game, and if you're sitting up there in the 300 section, the upper deck, where those are the true fans of the game, you're always, when you're looking at a close play, you're like, I don't know if it's going to happen. This definitely gets that technology in the stadium. It's 2013. That technology should already be in the stadium. It's a great idea. I'm all for it. Thanks for coming on.
I agree. Thanks a lot.